Good evening, Lady Bruin fans, and welcome to another edition here of Sports Talk with Rags here in Season 3, Episode 74. And tonight here, we are honored to have the varsity head coach of field hockey for the Lady Bruins, Riley Greenwood. Riley, how you doing this evening?
Great. How are you?
Good. Hey, appreciate your time. So let's uh, let's start at the beginning. Let's start here with your involvement with uh, with field hockey when you were growing up and as you went through Western Branch.
Yeah, so field hockey still isn't a very well-known sport here. And in fifth grade, Dawn Bailey was my teacher, and she was also the varsity head coach at Western Branch. So she ran a little after-school program where she kind of taught us, and that's where I discovered field hockey pretty much.
Okay.
And then in 2010, I was in sixth grade, and that was the first time Chesapeake had a middle school team. So I got to play in middle school, and then I got to play 4 years on varsity in high school, and then I played in college. So
Okay. Yes, and let's see. Did you play at Randolph Macon, right? There at
yes,
the
yes.
there, and I know that the ODAC is definitely competitive in all sports, but that's a great school and a great field hockey program.
Yes, definitely. It still is. And we actually have a couple other girls that graduated after me from Western Branch that play there. So
Okay. All
they're
right.
cool.
Yeah, and I know that let's see, I know that field hockey wasn't a sport here when my classmates, went through the high school, but it's definitely growing here, not only, in the Tidewater area, but right here, right here in Western Branch as what before we started, you said that the varsity program there at Western Branch was like mid to late 90s, and then a JV team came like in 2010, 2011 season.
Yes, yeah. So it's been around for a little bit, but
Right.
we're still trying to pick up some traction with getting people to come to tryouts and stuff. Just a lot of people don't know about it, like when a lot of little kids they play soccer or t-ball or whatever, you don't really see a lot of little kids playing field hockey. So it's definitely trying to get them younger so they can start
Right.
playing sooner.
Right. Yeah, because it's just like every other sport with soccer, baseball, softball, basketball. If you don't start them young, then when it's time to, middle school and then definitely high school, just the competitive of all sports. It's just another sport that you gotta start them at a young age.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. We this summer we had for the first time in a little bit, we had a summer camp. Um and that was really helpful because we got, the elementary age girls out there to kind of start and at least introduce them to the sport. So then by middle school maybe they'll try out.
Right, right, because and like you referred to with middle school, here in Chesapeake, it's got to be the opposite season of varsity and JV because middle school uses y'all's field.
Yeah, so I actually am the coach of Western Branch Middle School as well.
Oh,
So we are opposite seasons, and it works out for us because middle school gets out a little bit earlier, and then the high school girls soccer use our field too. So it works out, but yeah.
right. Yeah, and definitely as you referred there to Dawn, definitely remember when she was the varsity coach, and there's been other coaches here to maintain the program, but how is this your second season there
Yes.
with being the varsity coach for the Lady Bruins field hockey?
Yeah, this is my second season being like the head coach of Varsity. The year before that, I was the JV coach. And then the year before that, it was like that weird COVID season. And
Uh,
actually, my mom and I got to coach together to do
oh,
Varsity. So that was really cool. But yeah.
yeah. Yes, and who's the JV coach nowadays here for JV field hockey?
Her name's Brienne Bach, and she's a family friend. We grew up
Right.
together, and she's a great coach. She's doing great things with the JV team right now.
Right.
So.
Yes, and it also probably works out here with being an alum, being being part of the program, and now you're coming back here to not only strengthen the program but also the girls that you coach. You know, you were once a student athlete here in the program.
Yes, yeah, it's really cool that I get the opportunity to come back and coach at, I went through Western Branch Middle School too. So getting to coach at two places that I played at is really a cool experience.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And it's definitely nice to see Western Branch field hockey not only to be competitive there with being a top team in the Southeastern District, but definitely to be a top team here in here in Group Six. And what last year? What a run to the state semis.
Yeah, we won our region last year and then we lost obviously when we went to states, and then the year before that the same thing. So this year we're hoping to win states, hopefully if we get to postseason. That's definitely the hope for this year, but we've been close, so we're definitely still building.
Right, and the thing is, you know, the field for the regular season home games is on grass, but then when it's time for the postseason, what you got to go to a neutral site here with turf fields nowadays.
Yeah, so that's definitely something we have to overcome because obviously our practice field is grass. Suffolk, three schools in Suffolk just got turf. So we've been lucky to play some of those games on turf. And then all of the out of district games, I try to schedule with teams that have turf. So we get as much turf time as possible. Some of my players, they play club as well. So they get some turf time practice. But I like us to all be together as a team trying to practice on it. But that's definitely something that other teams don't have to deal with because they have turf. So I try and schedule as many turf games as possible before postseason.
Right. Right, and let's see. So field hockey here for the high school is a fall sport.
Mhm.
So the program is pretty much kicking off about the same time as football is there at the end of July, beginning of August, right?
Yes, yep. We tryouts are the first week of August, and then we
Okay,
have about 2 weeks for some scrimmages or jamborees, and then we go into seasonal play.
right. And for the listeners out there, I mean, field hockey, you know, what is it, halves or four quarters?
So it's 4 quarters. Varsity plays 15-minute 4 quarters, and JV plays 12 minutes and 30 seconds for their
Okay.
quarters.
All right. And
Mhm.
then what? It's 11 on each side there with 10 plus a goalie.
Yeah, exactly. It's really similar to soccer in that way.
Okay. All
Mhm.
right. All right. Yeah, just let's see. And I saw recently, not only did you guys win by a shutout there for a district game, but you guys won like 9 or 10-0 here one match last week.
Yes, we just played Indian River, and yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So there in field hockey, I know that usually the scores are like 1-0, 2-1, 3-1. When I know in baseball and softball, there's a 10-run rule, so like 9 or 10-0, was it called before the match, before time expired?
Yeah, so pretty much after 6 goals, If you're 6 goals up, after the third quarter, they stop it. So you don't play the final quarter.
Okay. And then similar to soccer or similar to regular hockey, if it's nothing after overtime, do you have a shootout or do you finish off in a tie?
Yeah, we've actually experienced that twice this year. We've gone into overtime twice. And when we go into overtime, we go down to 7v7. So it's less people on the field. And then we play 10 minutes, 10 minutes again. If it's still nothing, then we go to shootouts, which that's a rough way to end a game for sure. But
Right, right. And when you refer to club, is that the travel or during the off season of school field hockey where your field hockey players can continue with staying in shape and staying with playing competitive field hockey there when school season's done.
yeah, definitely. Especially since I was in high school, we didn't have as many clubs in the area. So it's kind of like I played for a lot of different clubs just because it
Right.
wasn't as like regimented, I guess, as it is now. But a
Mhm.
lot of my girls play for clubs. They get to do a lot of really great tournaments and they get a lot of good coaching. And they're really good about prioritizing school hockey when it's season and then so they still do a couple tournaments here and there throughout our high school season but most of it is after.
Okay. All right. Yes, and then with the success here that the Lady Bruins field hockey has had here, and especially with coming out of the pandemic, what let's see. So is this year's team, is it mostly upperclassmen or is it kind of a mix here with your experience of this year's team?
It definitely is more of a mix than last year. Last year we had 8 seniors graduate, so it was a pretty big group leaving. This year we have 7 seniors, so not much smaller. I have 4 juniors. I don't have any sophomores, and then I actually have 4 freshmen as well.
Oh, okay.
So it's a little bit of a different mix, but it's working out well so far. So
Right. And let's see, with it being a middle school sport, then you can't try out for high school field hockey JV until the freshman year, right?
yeah, and since we have Jolliffe and Western Branch Middle School kind of merging together into the high school, it's nice because we get 2 programs, so we get a lot more girls. But it is a little bit difficult. We had a hard time last year fielding a JV team, kind of the whole district, that it wasn't just us. And this year we got really lucky though. We had 33 girls come out. So we
Okay.
have 18 girls on JV, which is the highest in a long time. And
Okay.
then I have 15 girls on varsity.
15.
So it's definitely getting better. And I think middle school is really the building block of that.
Right. Right. And so both Western Branch Middle and Jolliffe Middle has a program. So yes, that is nice here with both middle school, having a field hockey program and then, two middle schools that feed right into the high school program.
Yes. Yeah, we're fortunate for that. Because I know like Great Bridge Middle, they get so split up between the high schools. They don't all go to Great Bridge High School. So I know it's rough on them. So we're very fortunate that we have 2 programs coming together.
Right, and with being Group 6, I mean, and then what is it? Finish in the top 8 to go to regionals.
Yeah, so last year, to win our regions, we had to beat Kellum, and they had
Right.
beat us in the regular season. So luckily, when we saw them again, we beat them. But now they're not 6A anymore, so we don't have to beat them to get out of the region.
Right. Yes, yeah, I know with following Western Branch football and also Western Branch baseball, I think there's quite a few beach schools that have gone down Group 5, and I know just definitely a few years there before the pandemic, the beach schools were definitely the schools to beat there for field hockey.
Oh yeah, they still are. They've been like that since I was in high school. They have great programs there. So, but it's good to see it also building in Suffolk. Like Nansemond River is having a fantastic season right now, building in Suffolk, Chesapeake. So hopefully we can just continue to build out.
Yes, and then what do you guys do for a fundraiser? You guys usually have a table, there at the home football games, right?
Yeah, so the girls do like a 50-50 raffle. So we make a good amount of money off of that, which is great for our program. And they're at our most of the home football games. They just kind of walk around and sell them. And then if you win, you get half of the money. So
Right.
good deal.
Yeah, well that's good. Definitely with supporting the program. And what days do are the matches? Are they like Mondays and Wednesdays, or Tuesdays and Thursdays, or is it kind of vary?
It varies a little bit. All of our district games that were pre-scheduled are on Wednesdays, and then the extra ones that I can add, it just depends on when a school's available. We've had 2 Friday games, which are not very popular with my girls, and we actually have a Saturday game coming up, which again, they're a little mad at me for, but it's just the way it works out sometimes.
Right. And is that Saturday match, is that on the road or coming to Western Branch?
Yeah, we're going to Norfolk Collegiate, so
Oh, okay.
and they have turf, so even
Right.
better.
Right. Right. And it also, there to get experience here with playing against private schools, and another match to play on turf.
Yeah, exactly. I definitely try to get to play our non-regional games against teams that I know are going to definitely be competition for us. I just think that that prepares us better if we do get to go to postseason, just to see teams like that. So I'm lucky. I'm glad that we get to play them. It'll be a good game.
Right. And I saw that, let's see, here earlier in the season, you guys had a road match at Pocosin, and I think the JV, and then followed by the varsity. So, when it's a non-conference match and they do have JV, do you guys normally, travel together with JV playing first, and then varsity second?
It all depends on how many refs we can get. Right now, we're having a rough time getting refs. So, a lot of our games have been at the same place. Usually, if we're home, JV's away, and vice versa. But this year, it's been a little bit more difficult to do that. But also, Pocosin does have turf. So, it's nice for JV to be able to play on that as well. And it's it's a little bit of a further trip. So,
Right.
yeah, it's
Right.
nice to go together.
Right, right, and then let's see. With you guys winning the region last year,
Mhm.
wasn't there? Uh, you guys were able to host somewhere around here, like in the state quarters, and then with winning to go to the state finals. That's when you guys went to. Was it Fredericksburg or
It was like right
somewhere?
outside of Richmond.
Oh, okay.
So,
Right outside of Richmond is
yeah.
where the state semis and finals were were hosted. But definitely great last couple years, and I definitely remember people having to go to different areas here for club and everything, as Western Branch, high school was just getting started. So definitely great success here with the Lady Bruins field hockey, and especially after the last couple years of making it to one year making it to the state finals, and then last year making it to the state semis.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that there are more clubs popping up, which I think is definitely helping with just kind of introducing the sport. And then now that we have with COVID, we weren't allowed to have a middle school team. So now we're kind of building
Mhm.
that back up. And I think, all over Chesapeake and really the Southeastern district, we're building it back up, kind of like where it was when I was in high school, when every team was having a lot of success. So.
Right, right. And, one thing is there with the pandemic, I know that I don't think middle school had any had any sports there, when everything was shut down, and then like the following year. So, probably those ninth and 10th graders, that you have currently, whether, JV, and then a handful there on varsity, they're hop on the train, and it's high school field hockey time.
Yeah, no, it really is. And this year we had a lot of girls last year that had never played before, which is fine. That's great that they're trying it. But now, again, with the middle school programs being back, I think it's really helping girls get some experience before they get to high school and they're just kind of thrown in there.
Right, right. And then your home matches, pretty much, majority of them, what, start about 5 or 5:30?
At 5:30, but right now in Chesapeake, and I think kind of everywhere, we're having a shortage of buses. So that sometimes pushes back the start time a little bit, but most of the time around 5:30.
Right. All right. Well, hey, Riley, appreciate your time, and I know that a few years back I was asked to announce on senior day, like in 2017 and 2018. So, definitely have somewhat followed the Lady Bruins field hockey team here with the last few years, but a lot of high school programs, I know that had a break there with the pandemic, and then the success that they've had after the pandemic, especially with the younger group coming in, and no middle school sports, right after the pandemic.
Definitely. Yeah, for sure.
Right. Well, hey, thank you for your time, and any other last minute words here to promote Lady Bruins field hockey.
Well, thank you so much for having me. And if you are a girl and you want to play field hockey, just come out. We're hoping to do our summer camp again this year. So that's for rising set first graders all the way to rising eighth graders.
Okay.
So everyone should try it. It's very
All
fun.
right. All right. And even those camps, it's at the home field there on the high school property, right next to the primary school, right?
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Yes. Well, all right, fans. Well, hey, that was Riley Greenwood here to talk about Lady Bruins field hockey, and stop by their table at home football games here with supporting their 50-50, and then as let's see, with it coming here at the end of September. Well, what, you guys are probably halfway through your district season, right?
Yes, yes. Our last game is in the middle of October. I can't remember the exact date, but it's in the middle of October. So,
Right. And then right after that, it's regionals and on with the postseason format, right?
yes, and hopefully we make it there.
Right. Well, hey, good luck to for the girls in the rest of the season, and then also, like Riley was saying, if you're interested, and have a younger girl, to stay tuned there for announcements regarding the camp. So thanks again for your time, and have a good rest of the season.
Thank you so much.
All right.